Last year, the Lord, at the very beginning of the year, led me into Esther. And I really sensed from Him that that was going to be my focus for the year, but I didn't yet know what He had for me. And then I saw a video within the first 2-3 weeks of January. And in the video, the woman asked, or she actually said, have you asked the Lord what this year is for you and what the theme is? And a lot of times I have a lot of friends who have picked words for the year. They've gone, this is my year of faith. This is my year of this. This is my year of joy or peace or whatever that is. And I've never done that because God's usually just shown me what He's going to have me do for the year. And I let Him choose what it is that He and I are meant to focus on. But this year, He had led me into Esther, and yet He hadn't exactly given me something that was going to be my focus. And then this woman said, have you asked? And I realized I haven't even asked, because He's usually just told me. But maybe we're getting to a different place in our relationship, and I need to ask and then hear, what is it that He wants? And so while I was doing the dishes, I just said, Lord, what is the theme of the year for me? And He said, this is the year of beauty. And to be honest, I was kind of floored and a little bit uncomfortable, because I grew up in a culture within the church in which if women focused too much on beauty, then they were vain. And so there was a big part of me that was like, well, then I understand that women in the Bible are beautiful. However, I had a really hard time with that internally, which is exactly why the Lord was leading me into this one for this year. This was last year, though, so this is 2024. And He had me go in and read through Esther, and as I was reading, I realized that Esther had been in beauty treatments for 12 months. And in my head, I thought it was 9. I was pretty sure in my head it was 9 months. And He said, no, a full year. A full year, so that she understood the weight and cost of how beautiful I made her. So that she understood that it was meant in part to take her from the common area that she had been in and help her know and understand the queen aspect. And so that was kind of what He began to do in me as well. In a practical sense, what He had me do, because really, when we look at what God has us do with our faith, often He has us do practical things that end up working in us spiritually. And so practically, He had me, get my colors done, and I found out what colors look really good on me, and He and I went through my whole closet and got rid of everything that didn't align with my actual color season and palette. This is technically a little not quite right, but the gray is good. And so that was something we did. We also went through each of my drawers and started taking things out that were from much previous seasons, like my jeans drawer. And there were jeans I was holding on to that I loved from when I was in college. And He goes, why are you holding on to these? And I'm like, well, what if I fit in them again one day? And He's like, Jessica, you're a mom of 3. You're not running to and from class burning the same kind of calories. Like, I want you to really practically think about what is in your closet and what is in your drawers that's taking up space that is no longer who you are. And get rid of some of those things so that you have the opportunity and place and space to invite new stuff into your life that is who you are now. And that really goes back to that understanding of letting go of the former things of the past and moving into the new, which is what Paul talks about in the New Testament, is always striving into what God has for us and not looking back. That's what Lot's wife did. She wanted to look back. She turned into a pillar of salt. And God's saying, no. You're always looking ahead. Be looking ahead. Because I was in your past, but you're not in your past. I am in your present and I am in your future. And so this is where you need to really be with me. And so he really did a whole spiritual work in me to let go of things in my past that were just taking up space and weight. And some of these things was really letting go of the mindset of like, I love my jeans from college, but I'm not in college. In fact, I'm like 15 years out of college. So why am I trying to go back into that mindset? Like, and I'm not, but like, why am I thinking that that's going to fit me? I'm 3 kids away from that. Like, that's just not where I am today. And then he also had me go through just all these different aspects and areas of my life and teaching me the understanding of beauty from his eyes. How to take care of your skin really well and making sure that things that you're putting on it are of value to your body and not just, I'm going to grab that because it's the cheapest or has worked. And so this was the process that he really took me through all throughout the year. This was my faith walk. And what I really understood by the end of the year is not only how to let stuff go that doesn't deserve a place in your life anymore, but that God made the women like the wildflowers. Like when you look around this earth and you look around at your community and your church and your sphere of influence and your friends, look at the women and know you're a wildflower in God's garden. And we're all in different places of his garden. Like some of us are maybe in the desert and can handle a different kind of like a desert heat. And some of us are in the lush green like forest and we handle a different type of environment. Some of us he plants in the plains and some of us he plants in like the Siberian tundra, and some of us are up high in the mountains, and we all play a different role, and he wants all of us to go out and be the beauty of the world. Like we are the beauty of the world, singing about who the Lord is and lifting our face to the sun and just sprinkling beauty all over the place. And what I began to understand about men is how they're like the trees of the earth. Like they're the strength and we're the beauty. They're the tough and the might, and we complement them by sitting under their shade. Like there's just something really wonderful about how God made men and women to just be the perfect mesh of who the image of the Lord is, because he's beautiful and he's tough and he's soft and he's strong and he's kind and he's flipping tables. You know what I mean? And the two of us together just overwhelmingly show the character and goodness and nature of the Lord. So if you haven't thought about it and you're in March and you don't really know where you are this year in your faith and you're kind of like, God, I don't know, like, what do you want me to focus on? Like, what is this? Ask him what your year is. It's okay to start in March. It's okay to start in June if you see this then. Like, ask him, what year is this for me? What are you and I working on? What is our focus together? What's going to grow my faith this year in you in a way that I didn't know I needed? I didn't know I needed that last year. I didn't know I needed permission to think that women are beautiful and that we were made that way on purpose. I didn't know I needed permission to think we're beautiful, not vain. Although, not saying that we can't be, we can be. But I needed that. I needed that year. I needed that depth of understanding of who we really are in Christ Jesus. So ask the Lord, what year am I in this year? And just wait for him to tell you, and he will.